more. Still with me on the show, I have Dr. Okoboy Bernard and Sammy Jemfi.
Look.
Yes.
First of all, I thank God that we have the judiciary in this country. And the judiciary is so key to the survival of our democracy, such that even when soldiers use guns to enter the seat of government or the executive house, even soldiers who came with guns always leave the judges alone in court, as in allow the courts to run. They ask Parliament to go home and the executive also to go home. I'm talking about the civilian executive. Look, there are three arms of government. Why is it that when those who take guns come, they sweep two and leave one? Because that's the hinge. And so we should be careful not to allow our partisan political interest to cloud our vision or eyes and be quick at sweeping them with the same brush all the time. I don't get surprised when decisions are unanimous from the courts. When you take a matter that is frivolous to the courts, who is going to give you 4-1 or 3-2? Look, when a matter is frivolous, we judge. Members of the NDC themselves came and told us that when the NDC went to court on the election in 2020, they didn't even have figures to give to the court. But because there's a provision that you can challenge results, they appear before the Supreme Court. A judge asks, can we have your figures? We don't. We only came here because in announcing, we think there was a mistake. So, if you take frivolous, and some of the cases they take to the Supreme Court, with all due respect, first-year students studying not law, but any other course, can look at the case and say that this case should be thrown away. Why do you send frivolous cases to the courts, and when the obvious results comes, 5-0, then you attack them? When this issue of, how do we call it, Speaker Bagbin, good morning to him. He always watches your show. You know, he's a father to me, so all respect to him and greetings to him. When we started, this case started boiling. And I heard people say that, oh, it is not a matter of interpretation. It is just enforcing application. I started laughing. I said, look, see what politics can do to people. A matter as serious as pronouncing that someone who is MP for his own constituency should no more step in Parliament. It's a simple matter of just application. Let's even grant that all the grounds are there. Do you think it is that easy to tell an MP that go home, don't step in Parliament again, when his people queued and voted for him? But luckily, we had, how do we call it, opposing opinions. People who said, okay, Speaker, you want to say that by they going independent, they forfeited their seats. And someone else says that, no, the Constitution says that that's not what the Constitution means. They go independent will affect them in the next Parliament. You have a Constitution that says that on matters of opposing opinions or interpretation on a matter, take it to the Supreme Court. People say, don't go there because of politics. Don't go to the court. Have you thought of how dangerous this is? Imagine in the next Parliament, you have, and by the way, with all due respect to Bagby, Speaker was in Parliament as an NDC MP. Let's be candid in this country. Speaker, those who fought, who helped people, chased people, physically chased people in Parliament to make sure Speaker comes, who are they? Are they not members of this minority caucus? Why do we do this to ourselves? The point I want to make is that in all this, the one even giving the application is not like Randy Abbey. It's not Judge Kolendi. It's not someone who has practiced his profession and is not partisan. The speaker we have who is doing the so-called application or interpretation is an NDC member in this country, Wale. And then people say, allow him. And I'm happy.
Are you saying that is political party membership?
No, the point, the point I'm making is that even if people are saying that take it to a third party, it's because there are intrinsic, inherent, how do you call it, organic biases. And I'm not saying because of that you can't take it, Julio. I'm only trying to articulate my point, Doc, that Speaker Bagley has an organic, intrinsic, inherent bias because of where he's coming from. It's possible it will not affect all his decisions, but sometimes it's possible. So if you have a fear, you are in Ghana's parliament, and you think a decision is being done wrongly, where do you run to? They run to the court. And people say in this country that even the court, you shouldn't have gone there. Where do you go? Do you realize that if Afenyo had not let the minority dog out of parliament, imagine you have a seat that you sit on. And we are taking this thing for granted. You can imagine the chaos and the pandemonium where I sit here, the next day I come, another person has come to sit in my chair and says that speaker has ruled. And imagine when we all say we'll sit there, what happens? Bloodshed. When Ghanaians have voted for us, when I say us, I'm talking about politicians, and they won't solve problem, and you also have the courts. You will not use the courts. So, Doc, I want to beg Sami Jemfi. We should tone down. The tension should go down. There's unnecessary tension in this country, Doc. And by the way, I want to just say that I've read the how do you call it?
Secular.
The secular. And Doc, I have a lot of respect for you. The way I understand it, let me put it out.
Now why are you premising it with the respect Doc, you have for me? Oh, meaning what?
See, Doc, you see, we have a secular that says that if you want to serve, number one, Right Honorable Speaker of Parliament, all court processes should be served on the legal department of the Parliamentary Service on Mondays during working hours. Doc, to be very honest with you, most people in this public, I'm talking about the public, including myself, didn't know that beyond the Monday there were others. That's the first point. And even those who are still accusing her that why did you use Monday have quietly shied away from these two options. So I'm happy that this showed that there are other options. The second one is the clerk to Parliament. Okay? All processes should be served on the clerk to Parliament. Mondays, other weekdays. Look, this is my understanding. I have been in Parliament before. The chief administrator of Ghana's Parliament, is the chief director of the ministry, is the clerk. If you have another provision that says that you can serve the clerk from Monday and other weekdays, Doc, if you give anything to Ghana's Parliament, the clerk of Ghana's Parliament, is it about his person? He is the one through which you can reach anyone that has anything to do with Parliament. You can choose to use that route. Anyone. Oh, please, you see this, you don't have patience to listen to differing opinions. That's the problem you have. Relax, calm down. You can later speak your mind. I'm speaking my mind. Doc. So I want us to understand that when the Speaker, Chief Justice, people are trying to take word by word, but the import of a submission is that this Parliament, it is not only Mondays that you can go there. Other weekdays to the provision allows. And that one, it is the clerk. Doc, I have been in Parliament before. Anything the clerk receives, he then pushes it to the relevant department or works with the relevant department. If you have a matter from the Supreme Court and you are the clerk, who do you work with? Which department?
But Oko.
Oh, I'm not going 1 minute, I'm done.
Okay.
The point I want to make is that the Speaker, the Chief Justice, in telling you that you can reach out to the legal department any other day, the clerk of Ghana's Parliament, when he receives any documents from the courts, he represents the whole Parliament, including the Speaker. He's the Chief Administrator. So anything said from Ghana's court on any other day to the clerk is not about the person of the clerk. It's not about the person. And if it's a legal matter, a case as such from Ghana's Supreme Court, where is the clerk going to refer to the matter, or with which unit in Parliament would he work with? For example, if you write to the clerk of Parliament that Parliament bought 20 cars and my uncle, so I'll use this for example, from Swani Motors, Tommy Swanika, and you write to Parliament that you are owed, doc. There is a legitimate debt to Ghana's clerk, the clerk of Ghana. Doc, the first thing the clerk will do, of course, is going to involve Mr. Speaker, but it's going to work with the finance department or any other purchase department to see the status of that claim. So we should get it easy. People should not go and hide in West. What the woman is saying is that this Ghana's parliament, it is not only Monday that you can go there with a legal document. And please, that's the substance.
You are saying something.
Yes.
You are saying something which, first of all, is not the case that the speaker makes, and it's also not the response that the CJ makes. The speaker has gone to court to tell the court that you have improperly served me, and that on the basis of our interaction, you came up with a circular, a practice directive on how I should be served.
I agree. I've seen it.
You said on how I, speaker, should be served.
I get it.
You have said it, how I should be served.
Yes.
And that how this service was effected is contrary to what your circular says on how I should be served. This particular service was directed at the speaker, not Parliament.
I get you.
And the circular is clear.
Yes.
And in fact, the CJ, in debunking the speaker's position on the matter, refers to the column 1, which deals with how the Speaker of Parliament ought to be served. And what Sami brought here was that.
I listened to him.
Was that secular?
No. I mean.
Hold on. Was that secular? And Sami's point is that what the CJ says, what the CJ told us, in relation to what column 1 of the secular says, is contrary to what is in the secular.
Okay.
And that the Speaker's position on the service is vindicated by this secular.
Yes.
That if the Speaker says that your secular, which determines how I, as Speaker, should be served, says that 1, all court processes,
I've read it. You let me
hold on. All court processes directed at me, Speaker, should be served on the legal department of the Parliamentary Service.
Is that Clerk of Parliament?
I'm coming. The Judicial and the CJ knew about Clerk of Parliament. Yet they said that when the service is about the Right Honourable Speaker of Parliament, it must be served on the legal department of Parliamentary Service. Then he went on to say that acceptable times of service, Mondays during working hours.
Look, I've seen it.
So if there is a service on the Speaker, and the Speaker says that this is how you have said I should be served, that is not how I was served. And the CJ says that no. If you look at your own thing, for a service, a personal service on you, it's Mondays. But on other days, we can serve
the legal
department,
which is not there.
But the circular does not say that.
Okay, all right.
So that doesn't even mention Clerk of Parliament. Why are you introducing
Clerk of Parliament? Because you have not seen the phrase, please, with all due respect, legal department at the second place. But with all due respect to you, when you serve something on the clerk, is it supposed to be about its person?
This is the, you see, I don't want to use
please,
word.
You
clearly don't know.
With all due respect.
I beg you.
But who said you have come? It's my time. Please, you have to talk to me. Please, it's my time.
Annie, please put the second page
on
the circular.
Yes, look, the point I'm making is that Speaker is hiding, how do you call it? People are sticking to form rather than substance. What the woman is saying is that you can send legal documents to this Ghana's Parliament on other weekdays. And I have been in Parliament before. Parliamentary workings, anyone who has been in Parliament, anything that comes to
the... Please, leave it there, freeze it there.
No, they should see 1 and 2. Why should they freeze it? They should see both.
Yes.
Go ahead. If you take your time, you understand why I said freeze it. Please calm down a bit. Calm down a bit. Just roll it down. I want the sentence before the table. In view of the foregoing, the Honourable Lady Chief Justice has therefore directed that in serving processes to the above mentioned officials, the following should be adhered to henceforth. So now it distinguishes, it gives us 3 categories of persons in Parliament.
I've seen it.
So it tells us that category 1 is Right Honourable Speaker. Category 2 is the Clerk to Parliament. Category 3, members of Parliament. So clearly the Chief Justice distinguishes that if it is there's a Honorable Speaker of Parliament, that service must be effected on.
Yes.
Then there is the Clerk of Parliament.
Yes.
Then there are members of Parliament.
Absolutely.
So the judiciary distinguishes the three.
Yes.
What this means is that for any service directed at the Speaker, this is how.
That's not what it means. Please.
Oh.
No, that's my interpretation. It's your interpretation, with all respect. The reason why even these days...
Would you please allow me to...
Overlook. You see, let me...
Otherwise... I engage Sammy when you speak.
He engaged throughout.
I understand.
I argue with Sammy on all the things he said.
I've got your point. You've made it. And I'm saying I don't agree with you.
It's not about you getting me. I don't intend for you to agree with me. I don't.
I understand.
I am just saying, please put the thing back. I am just saying that this is the judicial service.
Yes.
It says that when it comes to Parliament of the Republic of Ghana, we are categorizing three. Right Honorable Speaker of Parliament, which presupposes that a service can be directed at the Honorable Speaker of Parliament.
Himself, yes.
That a service can be directed at the Clerk of Parliament.
Usually when it is like for Parliament.
And a service can be directed on members of Parliament.
Exactly.
So now it distinguishes the three. And it says that, one, personality stroke institution to be served is there. So if it is Right Honorable Speaker who the service is on,
how the service should be
effected, acceptable times of the service, and then he has remarks. Then if it is about the Clerk of Parliament that the service should be effected on, how service should be effected, acceptable times of service, and then remarks there. If it's about members of Parliament, how it should be effected, and then acceptable times for the effect.
That's all.
And you see it there. Yes. So the one clearly says that if the service is to be effected on the Speaker,
can you go up?
All court processes should be served on the legal department of the Parliamentary Service. Acceptable times of service, Mondays during working hours. And I made a point that if you look at this circular again, what it even means is that if you look at 2 and 3, apart from Mondays, it specifies other days and says that if it is Tuesday to Friday,
7 a.m. to 8 a.m.
on 2 and 3, it specifies. What it means is that when it comes to 1, it is dealing with only Monday, and it gives you during working hours.
And it doesn't give you any
other
date, and you say you have another interpretation.
No, with all due respect, how you interpret a document here, with all due respect, is not supposed to be the right one. So this is a document we are all interpreting, respectfully. The way you interpret it, I respect it. But I'm saying that, in my opinion, your interpretation is a misinterpretation. I have access to that.
All right. Okay.
And I want to put forward my interpretation. And I'm saying that because I'm privileged to have been a member of Parliament, the spirit behind this letter is that MPs are free on Mondays, including the Speaker. We don't work on Mondays. And it's because the fiscal process of handing over court documents, getting it received, because Mondays is when you can get that done. The spirit is that if you want to serve the Speaker or an MP, it is to be done on Mondays. Now,
this document doesn't say that.
No, that's what I'm speaking about. This. There is an intention behind it. Why Monday was chosen because that's when we don't work.
No, but 2 and 3.
I'm coming to 2 and 3. Yes. The reason why when it came to the clerk, apart from Monday, other days were added, is that he is the administrator of Parliament. So from even in Tuesdays up to Friday, he was not put in that exemption like us.
I don't understand.
From Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, according to the 2, you can go and serve the clerk. Is that not so?
Yes. Between 7 and 8.
Please.
Between 7
I'm
and
sure
8.
the spirit behind is that he is administrator. He's not like us who are free on only Monday. But the rest of the weekdays, he should be available to receive.
So read 3.
No, I'll come to 3.
Yes.
3 to is the same
Please,
like the clerk.
he should be available to receive documents.
Yes.
And as someone who has been in Ghana's Parliament, I'm pointing to you that when things come to the clerk, it's not necessarily about his person. He is the face of Ghana's Parliament. And even in fact, you can even serve as a member of Parliament. You can bring a matter concerning a member of Parliament through the clerk. He's the chief administrator of Ghana's Parliament. So I am telling you that with my privilege of being in Ghana's Parliament, what the Chief Justice is telling you is that Ghana's Parliament is not only approached on Mondays, that's the substance, and that through the clerk. And please, there is nowhere also that says that anything you bring to the clerk, it must have nothing to do with the speaker on the rest of the days. Please, that's my interpretation.
So even when the document provides for how a particular office or a person must be served.
Doc, respectfully, I'm saying that because I have worked in Ghana's Parliament, the way to understand...
You were not with the Parliamentary Service Board.
Okay, no problem. But at least I have the privilege of experiencing their work. Okay. The way to better appreciate that provision is that I'm giving you the spirit behind the Monday that was chosen. It's assumed that Monday he is not sitting. So you can physically go there, serve him any court documents.
No, they are not even asking you to serve him. They say serve legal department.
No,
which also like the clerk works Monday to Friday.
Correct. Now, and I'm saying that when they say you can serve the clerk, and I understand why Sami and those who are antagonistic towards the courts over the past, who've developed antagonism, I can appreciate why they've conveniently, and I'm very happy I saw this, because until I came to this show, I never knew that beyond Monday there were other provisions. There is a reason why those who are attacking the courts now run away from two. I am telling you that when you serve Ghana's clerk, the clerk of Ghana's parliament, it is the route through which you approach any other department or person that has to do with parliament. And so
in this specific case, who was served?
No, please.
No, in this specific case, who was served? Was it the clerk of parliament?
Thank you. No, please, let me see. It's about workings. It's an institution approaching another institution. And let me.
No, you don't get who was served.
No, please, I'll say it.
Yes. Who was the service affected on it?
If you write to Ministry of Health on a matter concerning, let's say, my chief director, but written to my office, the first department I mean to call is the legal department. And I'm explaining to you that the clerk is the chief administrator. And so the documents, the Chief Justice, the Speaker is telling the whole world that I have an arrangement that says that they shouldn't serve me anything on Monday. And the lady,
not on Monday. He didn't say they shouldn't serve me on Monday. It says they should serve me on Mondays through the legal department.
But not him.
No. He said you can serve me through the legal department on Mondays.
Which is what the surplus says.
He says that is not what was done.
All right. And the
Are
Chief
you
Justice,
aware that there was no service on the clerk of parliament?
Doc, I'm coming.
Are you aware?
Doc,
he can't answer that simple question. Who was
there? Doc, I'm saying that it is not by accident that all those who are attacking the courts run away from provision 2.
How is 2 applicable?
It's not even applicable to this. It's not relevant to this.
So what's the Speaker's problem?
Because this particular service...
What's the Speaker's problem?
This particular service was not effected on the clerk.
I'm saying what's the Speaker's problem? What's his contention?
His contention is that you serve me through the legal department on Mondays during working hours. And that is not what was done.
What was done?
Is that not his case?
That is it.
What was done? I'm asking you.
What was done?
Please. Yes.
What was
Doc,
done?
what was done? His Speaker's argument that documents were served on another day apart from Monday. Is that not?
Yes.
And
on the legal department.
No problem. Yes. And the point I'm making is that Ghana's parliament, the second provision says that you can serve parliament from Monday to Friday through the clerk.
No. Is that what was done?
No, that is not it.
But the legal department, are they independent?
He doesn't know.
They are another clerk.
No.
Please,
all right. Okay.
Oh, you are not done.
Okay, it's okay. Let him finish.
So, in conclusion, the point I want to make is that anytime a case goes before a judge, if you try to hide in semantics and wording and run away from the substance, you'll be caught red-handed. All those coming at the courts are creating the impression that the legal department was served on another day apart from Monday.
That's a fact.
Yes.
That's a fact.
And I'm saying that those people have conveniently avoided another provision that says that the clerk of Ghana's parliament can be served on other days. And I'm saying that...
But was the clerk served?
I'm coming, Doc. In substance. That's why I'm talking about substance, not form. In substance, anytime you serve the clerk of Ghana's parliament on a legal matter. But why you say? That's why you have this ruling. And please, in other jurisdictions, even globally, this substance would prevail. If you serve Dr. Koboy on legal matters from Ghana Supreme Court, you have by extension served the legal department of the Ministry of Health. Because I am not a lawyer.
Okay.
So that is what I want to go out there, that the Supreme Court has an arrangement with Ghana's parliament that the parliament can be served with legal documents even apart from Monday. And we should not run away from that.
All right. Yes.
You see, Dr. Koboy is not being fair to himself. It is what is happening here is very sad. But you see, when we come
At
on
least
this platform,
Supreme Court agrees with me.
You didn't allow me. You were so angry even when
No,
I tried to utter the word, which is very unlike you.
No, you have to choose your words well.
Because of my,
Sammy, I wasn't
comments.
angry. Please.
No,
I was
the
being
way,
fair.
The way you were shouting at me, Oko,
I was being fair.
I've never even seen you shouting at me like that.
It wasn't angry.
I was fair
were not
with
angry.
my position. I wasn't angry.
The way you were being fair, me said I've not seen some before. So take it easy. Pipe down.
When you called her a liar, you were also very angry. When you said she was a liar.
Calm down. Calm down.
But that thing is strong.
Calm
he has to pull
down.
it back.
Calm down.
When you
were talking, when you were talking, you didn't. You screamed on me when I even tried to utter a word. So please, you see, when we come on platforms like this, Doc, it is just a privilege. We don't know more than the people watching us. There are some people who are more qualified to sit here than us. They are very discerning people who watch this program.
Look,
so when you
I'm not going to him, but to make this show end nicely, I gave my interpretation. He can give a different one.
I am going on.
If he goes on a tangent to say that because I gave the interpretation, either I'm not fit to hold on to that interpretation or I don't have the understanding to do it, I have to come back.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying?
No problem.
You can even
so now you are issuing.
Yes. No, I'm not issuing the dog. But it is something I don't. We cannot live in a country where someone thinks that if I am a lawyer, only I am fit.
Of course.
Of course. So even if I am wrong, respect that position and give your correct one for the viewers. So that is very important.
Dr. Kobo, respectfully, I think I've indulged you enough.
Oh, no. I mean,
when you were speaking, you made statements to the effect that we take frivolous cases to court. They would throw us. I was there, quiet.
But that's not an insult.
So if I am telling you that the interpretation you have put on the document, which is the subject matter of this discussion, shows clearly that you don't understand what you are talking about and that you are not being fair to yourself. It is a fair criticism, just like the criticism you gave us, even the very harsh criticism you gave us. Doc, the issue we are discussing has got nothing to do with clerk of parliament. So for Dr. Koboy to even say that there are some people who have avoided or decided not to talk about the second row of the table, which deals with service on the clerk, I don't get it. Because that issue is not applicable to this subject matter. It's not relevant to it. It's got nothing to do with it. First of all, Annie, if you can kindly bring back the letter. This letter is titled Enforcement of Article 117 and 118. The reason why in that table you see Speaker of Parliament, Clerk of Parliament, Members of Parliament as distinct entities, separate and distinct entities, and you see clear directives of the Chief Justice on how they should be served, is that these three separate and distinct entities have immunities and privileges on how they should be served. All the three. So the reason why the clerk is on that table is not because he is there representing all of Parliament. Doc, are you getting my point? The clerk himself has immunities. So the directives of so keep 117. I saw 117 on the screen. Just keep the first page. If you can put the first page there. The first page. And kindly scroll down. Kindly scroll down. Everybody will see it black and white. So that you know that the clerk of parliament is not there as the chief administrator of the entire parliament. Just put it there. Just put it there. Paragraph 2, it is there clearly. Article 117 and 118 of the Constitution provides, I will just read 117. Civil or criminal process coming from any court or place out of parliament. Yes, or place out of parliament shall not be served or executed in relation to, he'll begin to list the people, the speaker, or a member, or the clerk to parliament. So 3 separate, distinct officers of parliament with immunities and privileges when it comes to service of proceedings emanating from the courts.
And that should be the reason why the circular also then distinguishes.
Yes, so when you go to page 2, so Andy, let's go to page 2. The Chief Justice says when it comes to the speaker, serve the legal department of the parliamentary service. It didn't say serve the clerk of parliament, because the clerk is the face of parliament. It says serve the legal department, because the clerk also has his own immunity. You get my point? Serve the legal department, not clerk. And that circular, and in fact, we are not the ones not making reference to the second rule. The Chief Justice himself didn't make reference to the second rule or the third rule. The second rule, we talked about the clerk. The Chief Justice didn't excluded that, because she knows the case is not about the clerk of parliament or members of parliament. That is why, if you listen to the tape we played, she said the true meaning of column 1 of the circular is this: that the speaker can be served personally on Mondays, but through the legal department on any other weekday. And I'm saying she lied, because that is not what the circular says. It's so simple. So the Chief Justice herself didn't talk about clerk of parliament. She didn't talk about members of parliament.
Well, that was not an issue. So.
This is not even an issue. What is he talking about here? And look, you see, the Speaker of Parliament is not the same as the Clerk of Parliament. The Clerk of Parliament is a distinct creature of the Constitution with a specific role. And usually processes served on the Clerk of Parliament are for Parliament as an arm of government. The Speaker is not Parliament. The Speaker of Parliament is a separate entity created by the Constitution. Parliament is a distinct arm of government. So it is usually processes for Parliament as an institution that goes to the clerk. And when you are serving the clerk, the Chief Justice says you can serve him either on Mondays at working hours or Tuesdays to Fridays, 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. In this case, Afenyomaken did not serve anything on the Clerk of Parliament, because Parliament was not a defendant to the suit. Neither was the clerk a defendant to the suit. The only defendant was the Speaker. So he served not the Speaker personally, but the legal department of the parliamentary service, in line with what the circular says. The only problem is that the circular says that you do that only on Mondays. Because if you do that on other days, you are breaching Article 117 and 118, which the Supreme Court is supposed to enforce, because they are all provisions of the Constitution. It is for good reason. It is not for nothing that the framers of the Constitution said that as for these people, it didn't even give these privileges to the president. It gave the privileges to MPs, Speaker, and clerk for good reason.
That's the decision of the Supreme Court. Therefore, not declare either parts of this circular or the entire circular as unconstitutional. And does this new pronouncement then not give us an interpretation of 117, 118?
You see, the circular is subservient to the Constitution, statutes, subsidiary legislation, and all that. So if the Supreme Court has said that you were served on Wednesday, okay, even though it is against the circular, we consider it proper service, because you were not on your way to Parliament, attending Parliament, or on your way from Parliament. Then you can debate them on whether or not the Speaker was attending Parliament, on his way to Parliament, or from Parliament. They will be right, because the provisions on service have to do with legality, and they override the circular, which is an administrative practice direction. But my bone of contention is not about that. My bone of contention is that Chief Justice Getutokonu says the circular says that the Speaker can be served personally on Mondays, but the legal department can be served on any other day. And I'm saying it is not in your circular. And it is disingenuous for the Chief Justice to do that. Very disingenuous. Okay. Then you listen to Okoboy. Listen to him, that we are saying that it is wrong for people to go to court. There is a matter in court. They are disputing interpretation to a provision. We are saying the person should not go to court. You heard that from where? How can you be this mischievous who has said that the matter should not go to court? Is the High Court not a court? So Atuguba and Kwame Akufu, all those people, they are saying the matter should not go to court. Is that your understanding of this discourse, this serious discourse? We are saying that in taking matters to court, you only take matters to court when the court you have gone to has jurisdiction to hear that matter. Either than that, the court must refuse jurisdiction to entertain the matter.
The court says he has jurisdiction.
Yes, and we are saying, we, lawyers of the speaker, people like Kwame Okufu, people like Justice Atugba, and many other people, Kweku Azan, Martin Pegu, people like Ansan Sare, all of us, we are saying that this is a matter which is reserved by the Constitution for the High Court. So the right court to go to is the High Court.
Unfortunately,
so we are not saying, hold on. So Randy, we are not saying that nobody should go to court. We are saying you went to the wrong court. You should have gone to the High Court. But say that you disagree with us and that the right court is the Supreme Court, and the court agrees with you. That's fine. But don't come and misinterpret what we have said in my presence and say that we are saying don't go to court. I mean, how disingenuous can you be?
All right.
Then he says that look, let me not even waste time on this matter.
Right.
This matter, I've shown the letter.
Okay.
This is clear, open and shut. For me, the solution to all this is resetting Ghana, including all arms of government, especially the administration of justice.
Right.
And that will come about when the people of Ghana vote for change. So for me, tomorrow, I'm going to Western. From there, Ahafo. From there, Bunu East. From there, Greater Accra, Ashanti. From there, Bono. So those.
Is it to suggest that the speaker will not pursue the
11th
of November?
I hear he is even going. If I am not fit to advise the speaker on legal matters, there's a man with over 32 years experience at the bar. Okay, his lawyer Tadio Sore is actually somebody who I so much respect. And I know the speaker has other very senior lawyers who advise him. I'm not fit to advise him. But if I was a speaker of parliament, I will not file any matter for this court to even determine.
Okay.
Because clearly, if you look at who gives an ex parte preservation order,
let's not bring that issue.
In an interlocutory manner, pending the determination of the matter. It has never happened in the history of Ghana.
Okay, there's always a first.
Who does that?
There's always a first.
First time, when the law clearly says you can't do it more than 10 days. And in justifying it, you go and quote a law which has got nothing to do with ex parte applications. It has to do with orders that the Supreme Court has powers to give, to grant, to give effect or to enable effect to be given to declarations made after the final determination of matter.
Incidentally, five justices of the Supreme Court.
And doc, I'm saying Ria Koto, there were about 7 justices of the Supreme Court, but today their own colleague Supreme Court judges have described them as timorous souls. Okay. And I'm saying history will not be kind to these 5 judges.
All right.
History will remind them in a very distasteful manner.
Okay. Ogo? Yes.
These same courts that said that Atuforsin should be left alone.
It was a court of appeal, not the same.
Yes.
Not the Supreme Court.
Judicial.
I'm not talking about judiciary here.
People keep quiet when they get rulings which they like from the courts. And this Justice Tokono, who my brother keeps on saying she lied and all that, some of them have done law for close to 30 years.
So they can't lie.
Okay.
Let's hear. Some of them have practiced for 30. Even if you disagree with the ruling, there are ways to put it, to give some respect to the courts. I'm happy that my understanding of the secular, at least, although I'm not a lawyer, at least is in harmony with those of people who have practiced for many years. This issue I mentioned about going to the court, some argue against it. The reason why some members of the NDC, I'm not saying necessarily him, kept on saying the thing is even automatic, it kicks off automatically, he's only applying, is that they sought to let us know that there was even no need to go and seek for interpretation because the thing was automatic. Look, you know what I mean? But so far, the events have proven that there is really a question to answer. Doc, is that not so? That's what the courts have proven. And, you know, my brother, when he summarized everything, he said, well, in order to stop all this, you have to, what they're asking is for you to vote for change, reset, and all that. That kind of conclusion gives 2 signals. It creates the impression that if you have power, as if, because my candidate is Dr. Baumia, I'll use the expression, if God forbid, and Baumia is, how do you call it, Mama is President Doc. You create the impression that by he being president, all these people will be swept Acclaim from the bench.
I have not said that.
No. I said it's an impression.
I have not created that impression.
Look, yeah, because if you say that.
Please correct him.
Oh, no. All right, no.
If you say correct him, I'm not created any impression that somebody will be swept.
You have made a clear way.
He said to end all this.
I said justice administration.
No, you see, he said to end all this. Let us. But the point is that the impression you are creating, if your candidate is president in Ghana today, these same Supreme Court judges, unless you are telling us, giving the country some signal that when you come, you are going to use whatever means to get them out of the bench. So the point I mean is that let's argue our cases without giving insinuations and pronouncements that create the impression that political power is what can be used to cleanse a judiciary, assuming even they have challenges. And then finally, Doc, this country, those who are watching this program this morning, I've said it here. President Mahama is someone who has ruled this country before. And so I want Sami to be proud to be mentioning some of the things that were done under him. And most importantly, be bold to mention the reasons why Ghanaians didn't give him a second term. I am convinced that the best man who would keep the momentum and take us forward and not take us backwards is Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. And I would not necessarily attack Mahama to make that point, but to remind Ghanaians that just as he said, just as Sami himself said, that to how do you call it, fix the banks and all that, you need Dr. Bawumia. What is the guarantee that your kids will still enjoy free senior high school if President Mahama becomes president? What is the guarantee that the lights, at least this morning was here, you are not using the gen set? What is the guarantee that as it happened under Mahama, we are not going to start buying generators and start buying fuel ourselves? What is the guarantee that just as under President Mahama's watch, banks were so reckless?
Oh, so now you're going into another issue.
The central bank was so asleep that banks could break their single obligor limit and nobody at BOG was able to put the banks right. What is the guarantee that under President Mahama, the nurses and teachers who are watching as the students, what's the guarantee that they will still receive allowances? And finally, what is the guarantee that if President Mahama becomes president, since he has only one term, and after that term he is going, what's the guarantee that he will come back, like President Kufuor came back in 2020, to give an account of his stewardship? Because of all these things that you cannot guarantee for, if you are watching this show, to keep the fundamentals stable and to build on them, your best bet is not a reset. Your best bet is an upgrade.
Doc, at least Ghanaians can be guaranteed that under the next John Mahama government, or if John Mahama was president, the dollar will not be selling at 17 cedis today. Today in the city of Accra, you can't even get dollars to buy. You go to forest bureaus, there are no dollars. Banks don't have dollars. BDCs don't have dollars. You need a little over 17 cedis to get the dollar you can't even find. It never happened under John Mahama. And that is the reason why you must vote for a reset. Under John Mahama, the banks that he says broke their single obligor limit, whatever that means. The banking sector and the insurance sector was growing at 8.4% in 2016. Today that they claim to have cleaned that banking sector, the sector is growing in the negatives and has been growing in the negatives for a long time. Under John Mahama, the construction sector was growing at 8.4% because of investments in developmental projects for the benefit of the people. Today, the construction sector has been growing in the negatives in the last 4 years. It is same for industry and all the sectors. Why? Under John Mahama, yes, people may not be guaranteed that they will get allowances if they are nursing trainees or teacher trainees, but they will be guaranteed that under John Mahama, they will get automatic employment because that was what they were enjoying under John Mahama's government. You finish school as a teacher, your job is there. No nuisance of noxious licensure exam, a convenient excuse for government to deny you a job. No national service, you were given a job. The teacher trainees will get that automatic employment again. The nurses will get that automatic posting and employment again. Under John Mahama, unemployment was not over 14% as it is today. Under John Mahama, Ghanaians can at least be guaranteed that if they lend to government, government will pay. Government will honor its debt obligations. Government will not restructure or exchange that debt and give them crude haircuts for them to lose their lifetime savings. Under John Mahama, inflation can never be 54%, because it was under him as vice president that inflation declined to single digit and stayed there for over 3 years. It was under John Mahama that this country saw the construction of the best airport terminal in the whole of West Africa, Terminal 3. It was under John Mahama that we saw the construction of the biggest port in the whole of West Africa, the Tema MPS Port Terminal. It is under John Mahama that Ghana got the best hospital in the whole of West Africa. First quaternary hospital in Ghana, the University of Ghana Medical Center, started by his predecessor at Tamils, completed by him. It was under John Mahama that Ghana got its biggest factory in history, $1 billion Atuabo gas processing plant that saved this nation over $300 million, creating jobs for thousands of Ghanaians. Under John Mahama, excavators seized from miners, some of whom were legal miners, will not be distributed to party apparatchiks for the destruction of our forest reserves and the pollution of our water bodies. Under John Mahama, our water bodies will not look like coffee, because we all saw the Nkubra, the Pra, and the Brim under him. They were all crystal clear, despite the relatively minimal challenges we had with illegal mining. He contained it and fought it genuinely. Under John Mahama, you will not be seeing millions of dollars in the houses and under the beds of sitting 7 ministers of state, only for John Mahama to issue a statement that those people will be vindicated when the investigations have not even been commenced into those matters. Under John Mahama, Ghana will not lose $190 million, free money given to us by the Americans as a grant, because of the greed and selfishness of his vice president, like Bawumia did to us in the case of PDS. So under John Mahama, Ghana will work. There will be jobs because 24-hour economy is coming. There will be access to capital will be enhanced because the Women's Bank is coming. Investments in vocational and technical education for self-employment will be prioritized because the National Apprenticeship Program is coming. Under John Mahama, we will see true transformation because John Mahama is a nation builder. But Bawumia is a pathological liar who cannot be trusted and the destroyer of the Ghanaian economy today. He is the reason why the dollar is almost 17 cedis today, and he cannot answer for that. He is the reason why our debt is over 761 billion, and for the first time in our history, we have defaulted on our debt obligations because we don't have the money to pay. We've been locked out of the capital market. We have become a butt of all jokes. We have become a walking shame and disgrace because of how you destroy the economy. When you go to the bank today to look for a loan, what is the interest? 35%, 40%. Is this the Ghana we want? A Ghana where our water bodies are all looking like coffee because greedy, selfish government officials and functionaries of the ruling government are busy destroying our water bodies in search of gold just to satisfy their avarice and greed. Under John Mahama, all that will be a thing of the past. And under John Mahama, Akufo-Addo will not have a third term because Akufo-Addo cannot control Mahama like he can control Bawumia as his poodle and puppet. And a secure post-regime accountability from him. Under John Mahama, there will be Operation Recover All Loots. There will be accountability, there will be justice, and all stolen monies will be retrieved. All persons who have engaged in corrupt acts, irrespective of their party affiliations, prosecuted to serve as a deterrent to others. That is why Ghanaians must vote for change, and that is why they will vote for change, because they are tired of the misgovernance, the corruption, the state capture, the nepotism, and they want a new paradigm shift in the way this nation is administered and managed.
Right. Doc, let me thank you very much. I believe your viewers are discerning. They've seen President Mahama, they've seen Dr. Bawumia, and they know what is good for Ghana. Yeah. Let me take this opportunity to thank God for the life of Honorable Shirley Ayoko Botwe for being elected the Secretary General for the Commonwealth. If nothing at all, I know that some opportunities will come from that for our people. for that alone, I'm grateful. I congratulate her. We wish her all the best. Most of us, if not all of us in politics, want to go very far. And when you see someone who is going far, you have to be happy for the person. It's the best way for you to receive grace to also go up. And having said so, let me express my appreciation to the Chief of Staff, Honorable Frima, who has related well with me as a son and a mother, and also to Mrs. Rebecca Kufuado, a very fine First Lady, fine not looks alone, but fine at character and at all the things that you look for. And finally, I also want to thank and greet all staff at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital. Yesterday, we were there, myself and the Vice President, to launch the e-health project, which basically...
Oh, that's why I saw you on TV.
Yes, which basically moves Ghana away from the old system of using folders to take records of patients, saving them time and helping to have proper medical records. So on this note, Doc, let me thank you too. I'm only not too happy with you because of the performance of Black Stars. But we'll talk about that later.
You should be happy with the Ministry of Sports and the Kufuado, not Doc.
You know, I know what you can do.
Doc,
that's
I have some greetings.
You know what I can do?
Yes.
Is he the manager of the Black Stars or the Minister of Sports?
After the show,
so he has decided to
I am neither the chairman nor a member of the Black Stars Management Committee.
Thank you, Doc.
Yes.
Doc, I have some greetings.
I know what you can do.
Doc, I have some people that I should greet.
Somebody reminded me that the only soccer trophy that has gone to the Jubilee House in the last 8 years was brought by me.
Yeah, that's very important. Now, Doc, let me greet all health information officers, medical laboratory technicians, disease control officers.
Hold on. Are they the allied?
Yeah.
I've had 4 messages. They said I should ask you when you open their portal and that they've been home for 5 years.
Dr. Koba will never greet them. He will greet his political
no, to be honest, and apologies to those who said
let me say something to them.
No, please. Let me finish.
Let me finish, then I'll give you the opportunity.
I am greeting all health information officers, medical laboratory technicians, don't laugh, disease control officers, physiotherapists, occupational therapists, speech language pathologists, speech therapists, audiologists, dietitians, nutritionists, podiatrists, community mental health, radiographers, radiation therapists, optometrists, orthotists and prosthetists, medical records officers, field technicians, health promotion officers, and many others. A very good morning from my good self and His Excellency John Dramani Mahama to you. We know that from 2019 till 2023, if I'm not mistaken, none of you, all of you within that category, none of you have been posted, with the exception of disease control and medical laboratory technicians who understand were posted in 2021. The rest of you, you've had no posting for about 4 or 5 years now. We feel your suffering. We understand your plight. We care for you. It is very instructive that the Ministry of Health, who promised to deal with this issue, has refused to address it and to even comment on it. He doesn't even capture you in his tall list of greetings. Definitely he doesn't care.
But how do you greet somebody who you have not given a job?
The greeting alone can give them assurance and hope. But he doesn't care about them. Okuboy doesn't care. He doesn't care. He cares about Rebecca Kufuado, Shirley Ayokoboche. He wants them to be happy with him, you see. So he doesn't care for you. But I am here to assure you that under the next NDC Mahama government, we will care for you. You will get your postings. You will get jobs so that you can earn something at the end of the month to be able to take care of your families. And I'm so excited about the policy of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama aimed at ensuring that we sign treaties with many countries that will allow us to export health professionals like your good self to countries in Africa, Asia, and elsewhere. So have faith. John Mahama says, don't lose hope. 7th December 2024 is just 37 days away. Go and find your voter's ID card. If you have even lost it, okay, you can vote if your name is in the register. Make sure you vote. Vote for change, vote for the umbrella, and you will see real transformation in your life. Okay.
So,
very good morning.
So, President,
you can
it says hi to both of them. No, it's not allies. It's not a greeting. It's the issue about the allied workers.
Yes.
Because they sent me that to ask him.
Doc, we have employed about 4,900 allied health workers from 2017 up to date. There are many that still must be engaged or employed. I am giving assurance that as a health worker, I continue to work with finance to get clearance for most of them at home. With all due respect, the last time I told Sammy, can you share with us how many of them you employed while you were in power? I wouldn't speak or greet you just because, Doc, I wouldn't speak or just greet you for your vote. I will continue to work so that we can give you opportunities. And those who are allied health workers, get it from me. Just as we gave close to 5,000 opportunities, we'll work to give all of you.
So this is their question. This is their question. They say, please, can you ask the Honorable Minister for us when they are going to open the portal for us for the unemployed allied health graduates, allied health professionals, which consist of about 16 cadres of health professionals, health information officers, laboratory scientists, disease control officers, health promotion officers, dietitians, etc., have been home since 2019 without postings. Please ask Dr. Koboy why our postings are being delayed. We've been home for 5 years. Only God knows how we managed to survive. We need postings now.
Yeah, Doc, voting for change does not guarantee any allied health employment. It does. Because President Mama was around when most of them were still at home. My point is that...
Do you know the meaning of the message you read? Sorry, this one is injury time. Do you know the meaning of what you read? It means that for the entire tenure of this Akufo-Addo government, the second term, from 2021 till now, none of these guys who have completed school have been employed. None of them.
What it also means is that 90% of all those who are employed were trained under President Mahama or before.
Who told you? No, they are 2019 batches.
Please,
2019 to 2020.
Look, what you even don't know is that these 17 cadres, for me, because I'm one of them, I'm a health worker, what I would do is to continue to work hard to get clearance for them. But the point I'm making is that the numbers of allied health workers who were trained under President Mahama, not even 40% were engaged. So the point is that we as politicians should not be quick to greet people because we are looking for their vote. We should tell them the steps we'll take to give the opportunity. And I give them an assurance that I'll continue to work towards getting clearance for them. That's my word.
So you will continue to work towards getting clearance for them, like you work towards getting $58 million.
You have to work to get something.
Like you work towards getting $58 million for the construction of a useless hole for God.
All right. Okay.
Like you've been wasting taxpayers' money.
But there's a message for you.
But I want to tell you this. Do you know that COVID vaccine issue we discussed here that my good brother promised to follow up and deal with? I just got a message immediately. The guy whose wife took the COVID vaccine and broke down. That's sad story. He says he's been calling Dr. Kuboy. He says he's actually outside the studio. So, Doc, we are holding your knee.
Let's leave it. Once the person is here, it's fine.
Do something before
Once the person is here,
this is injury time. And do something and let me come here next week and come crazy.
Dr. Manibuama has sent me something. He just sent me.
Help him. Let's help you. Okay. Let me come and praise you next week.
Something. Of course. He says, well, Good Governance Forum. Resetting Ghana.
John Dramani Mahama at 6 p.m. today.
That's Dr. Kuboy's best friend in your party.
Dr. Madebo. Well, these two doctors.
One medical people, do you also do senior end?
You know,
you do that. You do that.
Yeah, you see, medical doctors, and they also have backgrounds in public health. But one is mischievous.
Oh, it's okay. You deal with the one
very straightforward. The program, this is Good Governance Forum. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama will be speaking at this forum on the theme Resetting Ghana for Good Governance and Accountability. The program is this evening at 6 p.m. It will be live on Weasel and several other networks. I'm sure Metro TV will even broadcast it live. So
I don't
making
know,
a point to what, because John Mahama will be announcing and explaining his vision, his policy on the most important
Do you
issue
know
in
Ferguson?
governance. Abraham Ferguson.
Yes, you know him.
Oh, don't call him Ferguson. You are disrespecting him.
His what?
That's contempt.
So what's his name?
His real name is the Supreme Leader.
Hey, okay.
This is his real name.
So he says, please tell Sammy that I'm available from now to December ending to be appointed a coordinator in charge of the bed-to-bed campaign. I'll fully finance everything. What's that? It's one of your
because I
campaigns.
said we should do house to house, door to door, room to room, bed to bed. He is interested in the bed to bed for obvious reasons. But I tell him that Okai Quinoff is his primary responsibility.
He says the bed-to-bed
so you should focus
campaign.
on Okai Quinoff.
He says he'll fully finance everything and that you should appoint Eduji as his co-coordinator.
Two mischievous characters. He should use the money for Okai Quinoff.
Bet
because we must retain it. Obana is retaining the seat, and Aiku is retaining Lejokuku. And we are sweeping Greater Accra and the Parliamentary seat so that we can get more numbers to scrap E-levy.
So when you go for the campaigns at Lejokuku, what do you speak? English?
English, oh. But I know one or two Ga.
Which is what?
When I go to
Miss Mobile.
When I go to Odododio, they have a greeting called Heni Oyo, Cho Oyo, something like that.
Toyote.
Something like that, I don't know.
Have they taught you Miss Mobile?
Miss Mobile, I've heard that one. Yeah.
Oh, famous for.
Yeah.
You had those ones.
Yeah, but Susanna is not doing well. Tell her to help me with my gun. So when I come here, Okubo will not bully me with a gun. Sometimes I feel very
interpret for you, so when you are going, take him along.
With
so
this interpretation, with the way he interprets seconds and columns, this man interpreting gun for me. Hey, my gun.
So I need to say a very big birthday to Jermaine Nate, who's the media manager at MTN. So Jermaine, happy birthday to you, and we pray for God's blessings and grace as far as your life is concerned. And we're grateful for all that you do. For us, we're grateful for the partnership with MTN and all that. So Jermaine Nate, media manager, MTN, happy birthday to you, and we wish you the very best. And our greetings to Noel as well, the big man there. Up next, Metro Sports.